This is our statement. We call upon the leadership of the civilized world and President Obama and his staff, the congressional leadership and their staff, and the entire community of the United States, all the leadership of Europe, Africa, Australia, and the rest of the world, and all the non-governmental organizations, to take the plight of the Ethiopian migrant workers in the Middle East to heart and put pressure upon all concerned governments, demanding that our people be treated with due process in a humane way, to where all the laws of the countries are honored, but above all, their human dignity and respect fully preserved. This is our call. We ask the world to hold itself accountable and to the conscience of all of humanity in the sight of our Creator, God, the Almighty, that you take the plight of our people simply because they are human beings.
My name is Solomon Makonnen, and I work with a research foundation in Odessa, Florida, but particularly with this candlelight vigil that we just held. I am involved because of the plight of my fellow Ethiopians who have been suffering for a long time, but lately in a more intensified way, because I'm also an Ethiopian American. So I am involved in this initial grassroots activities to make sure that the Ethiopian residents of the state of Florida can also come together and add to the moral and the public contribution we can make in influencing governments and leaders take the plight of our people seriously.
What happened was here, particularly we have been touched because some Ethiopian migrant workers who happen to be particularly in Saudi Arabia. Then some of them, they have some legal document, others they don't have legal document, and the government of Saudi gave an amnesty for some months. So during that time, they were not able to produce those required documents. Then when the amnesty expired, then the Saudi government started arresting them, torturing them, beating them, and then all those things really angered the society here, but not only in Tampa, but throughout the United States, and then also in Europe and some other places also. Now, we understand that Saudis, they have rights to allow somebody who could stay there and who couldn't stay there. That's not what we are talking about. But then they can do it. This thing is that deportation could have been done in a very human, dignified way, respecting the human rights of those workers. They could have done that. There was no reason why they had to be killed. Some died. Officially, that we know that 3 people died, 3 individuals, but other witnesses, they say there are more than 10. Pretty much is higher, probably, unaccounted. And then particularly, some of these migrant workers, Ethiopians, these are very young people. Some of them even teenagers. So they rape them, particularly the police, what is happening, the whole situation that, as you have witnessed here, the people are crying and all these things. That happened was what they did is official. You know, the police usually they lead the arrest, and they leave once they left that area. So other gangs, vigilantes, even I heard that some of them were even Pakistanis. You know, some, you know, the same places, but so they are the ones who were robbing the people. They were taking their properties, whatever money they saved, all of those items were taken, and they were raped. Not only that, then after they gathered them, they surrounded them from, you know, from different places, they took them far away from the cities. But usually, as you know, that in cities there are diplomats, there are international organizations, there are news media. So pretty much in any country you can't do much. You know, there are eyes that watch what the government is doing. But to avoid that type of things, they took the people, more than 23,000. This is a huge number, far away from the cities, in isolated area, like a concentration camp. Pretty much similar to what happened to Jews during Second World War. There are people who haven't done any crime. All of a sudden, they burst into your house, they drag you out, they send you to a concentration camp. And then anybody could do anything to you because there's very little protection. It's just too much to handle. So we came here to express our sadness, really, and particularly to do something. How could we help these helpless people there? Because back home, the government is very lagging behind. There's so many excuses, you know, they're not doing what they are supposed to do. So we can't simply sit here and watch those people, you know, die or hunger. You know, that's the issue.
In like most places in the world, there are always migrant workers. We have them here in the U.S., especially in the state of California and Texas. Migrant workers come seasonally during harvest time or any other time to enhance the workforce that is here in this country, for example. In the same way, in Europe and in the Middle East and in different countries, there are migrant workers who go from country to country looking for work. And that's because the local economy does not usually support them. It's not strong enough. There's a very high level of unemployment and so on and so forth. So there are Ethiopian migrant workers who go to the closest country where the economy is a lot stronger than ours, and one of them is Saudi Arabia and various Gulf states. And so our people have been going, by that I mean Ethiopians, have been going there either through an arranged employment or some just go there through various means. And for some reason, various atrocities have been occurring there against them quite for a few years. But those incidents were rather individual and far in between. But lately, because of the new work permit and visa enforcement laws that were passed, these undocumented migrant workers had faced some legal trouble staying there and still keeping working. I personally do not have the actual documented evidence to see what efforts were made to repatriate them, but the news has come out now more. The flow of information is a lot more available because of the internet and all the media that we have. There have been various atrocities being committed both by government law enforcement personnel and by gangs against migrant workers who did not have any other resort, did not have anywhere else to go. We have heard of rapes and murders and imprisonments, no due process, and we are not against lawful deportation because that's the laws of the countries, but all we're asking is why such inhumane treatment? And we know we are a small group of people living here in Florida, but at least expressing, taking advantage of the freedom that we have, lawfully and formally expressing our opinion, we believe will add to the call, to the influence on the Saudi government and various concerned organizations to consider seriously the plight of these people, because they need to be treated. Even in war laws, prisoners of wars have to be treated in a lawful way according to the international conventions. But these are not war criminals. These are not war prisoners. These are not people who are captured in combat. These are migrant workers. Yes, maybe they are there illegally, but these are workers that do the work that the natives don't want to do. So, you may legally send them back home, but don't treat them inhumanely. That's all we're asking for.